And our first main topic today gets submitted to us by Kyle, who writes, "Hey, Campea Crew. So I just saw Gavin O'Connor say a sequel to the Ben Affleck, Jon Bernthal movie, The Accountant, is happening. John, I know you've said for ages now that you would be stoked for a sequel. Well, here it is. What are your thoughts?" All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, Kyle. And listen, The Accountant is one of those films that comes, it's like Suicide Squad. The Accountant is one of those films that comes out, is completely awesome, and nobody went to go see it. Nobody went to go see it. It did not do well at the box office. But there was talk for years about the possibility of them getting Ben Affleck back, Jon Bernthal back, getting the crew back, coming together and making another one, because they felt like, yeah, we didn't market it right, whatever, and the audiences seem to really like it. We think a second one. But then years passed. And more years passed. And every year that has passed, it seemed less and less likely that it would happen, despite the fact that you've heard others in the studio system say, oh, no, we still want to make one. We still want to make one. It's like, yeah, I'll believe when I see it. Well, that may now be happening, as the director, Gavin O'Connor, said the following in a recent interview. "We are doing an Accountant sequel. We literally just closed that deal. We're doing The Accountant again. I've always wanted to do 3 because the second one's going to be more with, we're going to go to integrate his brother more into the story. So there'll be some more screen time for Jon Bernthal in the second one." So this is not coming from Gus's movie reviews.fart. This is coming from, the actual director himself saying, not only do we plan on doing it, we've closed the deal. We've closed the deal. It's done. It's happening. All I can say is, I am thrilled. I am thrilled. To me, that first movie was fantastic because not only was it great action, right? It had some fantastic action, yes, but the characters were wonderful. I love the story of the two brothers, the very nature of Ben Affleck's character in it. What was it? They called it high functioning autism. I believe that's what they said he had in it. And just the way he portrayed that character, and then the way it came to its climax at the end, and an extremely satisfying ending. I'll tell you what, guys, this is a film, this is one of the poster child films of movies that deserved much better at the box office. I am totally shocked it's getting a sequel, yet totally thrilled. Aaron, you hear about this thing now getting a sequel. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I think it's fantastic. 2016 was kind of there was a lot going on that year, so I unfortunately did not get around to seeing it. And I was doing some reading about it earlier today. You're right. There were audiences loved it. It's had such an incredible fan reaction. Rotten Tomatoes, not so much. Critics, not so much. But also what we're seeing is, Jon Bernthal is getting a lot more attention right now. He's got a lot of movies coming out, King Richard being one of them. Just going to do a little plug there. And so I think part of, we always say, oh, well, if a movie makes a lot of money, they're going to go ahead and do a sequel. But there's also a little thing going on in Hollywood that happens quite a bit where when people just get a bug in their ass and they go, you know what, we really want to do this and we like the people, then who knows what Ben Affleck and Jon Bernthal are doing it for. A lot of times when you have these big name stars, it's prohibitive to do a sequel because they're demanding $20 million a movie. But I mean, until the numbers come out of what Ben Affleck was paid for this, I don't want to speculate too much, but I would say that if this was a passion project for him and for Gavin, then they may be foregoing their massive salaries in order to make the numbers work. At the end of the day, if the numbers work, the sequel will be made. One of the things that I also think is valuable about the retelling of the story or the continuation of the story now is that in the interest of diversity that we're really seeing right now. I like the idea of exploring more of a character who is not a neurotypical character, who does have a disability, yet they're still able to be portrayed in a way that is interesting and positive. James Wheeler, who wrote to us last week, he's one of our viewers who wrote in and said that, he has autism and has enjoyed this show. I was messaging back and forth with him actually this morning and saying, do you feel like this is did you like the movie? Did you see it? Did you feel like it was an appropriate portrayal of someone with autism? And he said, yes, I love the movie. So I'm happy that yet another segment of our incredibly diverse society is going to be able to go to the screen and watch, just more representation of the world that we live in.
Rob, I know you saw the original Accountant. What are your thoughts on this? Was this a film that deserves to get a sequel? Are you surprised it's happening? What do you think its prospects are? What are your thoughts?
Well, John, you and I both have a great big love for this movie, and I have the 4K Blu-ray.
Of course you do.
I was really taken aback by this because, I've always said that never put your universe or your agenda before your stories or your characters. And I think what makes a great character is the traits that character has. And if they are well portrayed on screen, and like I have to echo Aaron's sentiments, normally autism, it's not just Dustin Hoffman and Rain Man. I really thought that the way Ben Affleck portrayed this character was unbelievably fascinating. And the movie to me was so engaging, and it works on so many levels. It works as a character study. It works as an action film. It works sort of somewhat as a romance in a way. And it's exactly why I love movies. And it was surprising to me because I think that maybe we are kind of in the midst of a little bit of a Ben Affleck backlash when it came out. But I really I think Ben Affleck is one of the most underappreciated people working in Hollywood today because he is a first-rate director. I mean, people forget Argo won Best Picture. And he's a terrific actor and a terrific writer. And I think that, he won an Academy Award for writing Good Will Hunting. And I love this film, and I love that he went all in on the portrayal of this character. And I can't wait to see more of this story, more of this character. And I'm stoked, dude.
And now we're going to see more of his writing chops. Of course, him and Matt Damon got together again and wrote the screenplay for the new Ridley Scott film, The
Last Duel.
The Last Duel, which my wife is losing her mind over. She cannot.
It looks so good.
It looks so good. By the way, if anybody wants to see how good of an actor Ben Affleck can be, there's this little film that almost nobody has seen that he did with Samuel L. Jackson called Changing Lanes. And I think it's one of the best performances he's ever. If you want to see what he's capable, I always tell people, if you want to see how good Ryan Reynolds is as an actor, go and watch Buried. If you want to see how good of a actor that Ben Affleck can be, you got to go and see Changing Lanes. Oh, and by the way, our friend Mark Needow sends in a super chat badge in the live chat. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that, man. Anyway, guys, the question is for you. What do you think about this? Maybe you were a fan of the original Accountant. Maybe you weren't. I'm super stoked to see that they're making another one. Are you surprised about it? Whatever you guys think, jump on down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.